Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mission for Fishing. I'm David, and in today's episode, we are going to be upgrading my lifetime Tamarack kayak with a few things that I bought over the weekend. So stick with it, stay tuned, and enjoy today's episode. I bought this thing last summer, and I said I was going to do kayak upgrades, and then I bought a boat, and then the kayak kind of took the back burner for a little bit. And now we're back to square one. I'd also like to say that I did a review on this kayak, which is also on the channel. So if you guys are interested in that, check up in these corners. Basically, the angler version isn't quite how I want it to be. So we're gonna modify it, and we're gonna do a few modifications and upgrades, and hopefully you guys are gonna enjoy. Some of these methods involve poking holes into your kayak. If you do poke a hole into your kayak, I am not responsible. That's all on you, buddy. So a lot of these upgrades I've seen done on YouTube, and I've also done to my kayak. So by no means am I saying I'm the first to try any of these, but nonetheless they are very helpful, and hopefully I can pass on this information to you guys at home. Alright everyone, so the first upgrade that I did is I changed out this mount crate. Now originally I had a yellow mount crate that I clipped in back here. And essentially what I did is I transferred everything that was on that mount crate over to this one. And the reason I did that is because this mount crate is slightly bigger, which means that I can fit more tackle in there, I can fit more gear, more supplies, and I also wanted to add a hatch on the top. Now, I saw this in someone else's kayak upgrades, I don't remember which one it is, but essentially this is just a safety feature so that if you're out on the water and you do flip, which I have in the past, all of your tackle is going to stay in your melt crate, and you're not going to be chasing tackle trays all over the lake like I was. I also transferred over the quick release carabiners here. So I have two in the back, and then I have two on the sides. And so this makes it so that all I have to do is set it down and then just clip it into the carabiners. So there's no running actual loops through any of these slots in the melt crate. It's just set it down, clip it in. It's a lot quicker, it's a lot easier, and it's a lot more stable on the kayak. To make the actual hinge system, I bought two melt crates that fit perfectly on top of each other. I then chopped the top two squares off of this melt crate. I just used a hacksaw, and it was really easy to cut. I then ran 4 zip ties through one side so that it would act as a hinge system. So now when I want to get at my stuff, I make sure the hinges are in the back, so all I have to do from my point, sitting on the kayak, is push up, and it rotates over. Now the nice thing about this is it is very snappy, and it does lock into place. And so I have a few of my tackle trays here. I can fit 8 tackle trays in here. These are Plano 520s, I believe. So they're a little bit smaller in the box, but they fit in here just perfectly, and they give me plenty of space to store my tackle. However, one thing that I do have to address yet is all of my soft plastics are on the floor over there, because I'm not sure how that's going to go, because I want this to be super easy to take my trays out, but I don't want to like finagle over soft plastics, and there's just enough room in here to fit these trays. So I need to think of something for that, maybe another tackle tray that I'll put in here, and then I have to leave 2 out. I'm not sure yet. What an anchor trolley is essentially is it's just a system of pulleys on the side of your kayak to change your point of anchor. So if the wind's hitting you from the front and you want to fish behind you, all you have to do is clip in your anchor, change your point of anchor by moving it back, and then your kayak will flip around in the wind. The anchor trolley was by far the scariest thing that I had to do in my kayak yet. This kayak had no holes in it. It was a completely stock Tamarack kayak, and so drilling the first hole was very nerve-wracking because you know that resale value is going down, but once you drill the first one, it's kind of like might as well drill the rest of them. So I actually drilled 4 holes in total today on this kayak. I drilled 2 for the anchor trolley and 2 for this anchor cleat. Now this is all part of my anchoring system. What I first did is I picked out some sheet metal screws. Now I did this because I want them to have a super aggressive pitch, because these are going to be screwing into my kayak, because I can't go with a bolt method because I have no way of getting my hands all the way up to the front of the kayak here on the inside. So I wanted it to be nice and snug with 1 screw for each pulley. Now I got these pulleys, and they are twisting pulleys, so they have a little hinge here so they can rotate about the anchor point. And I needed that because I needed it to be parallel with the screw, so the pulley sits flat on the side of the kayak, and so does its loop. Now this screw that I got goes through this loop and into the kayak, and to waterproof the screw, first I use some Gorilla Glue. So I first dip the screw in water because Gorilla Glue needs water to cure properly, and then I put Gorilla Glue all over the threads and I screwed it into the kayak, and it's foaming up, and I use Gorilla Glue to actually fix my inflatable kayak multiple times. So it's good stuff. Put 2 pulleys at the exact same height on the front of the kayak and the back of the kayak, and I ran paracord through both ends. Once I got to the middle, I cut about 6 inches of overlap. And the reason I did that is because when you go to tie this carabiner in the middle, you need some extra for the rope. And the nice thing if you go with a carabiner versus a ring is that when you want to get your anchor out of your anchor trolley, you can just easily clip it in and clip it out. Now I mentioned before that I poked 4 holes into this kayak and I only covered 2 of them. The other 2 for the anchoring system came with this anchor cleat. The anchoring process looks like this. I throw the anchor out of the kayak, I then set my depth with this anchor cleat, and then I clip it into this carabiner, and then I move the carabiner in whatever direction I need to change my point of anchor. Now I use the exact same method of soaking the threads, or dipping the threads in water, and then putting Gorilla Glue on them, and then screwing them into the kayak. So that should create a nice watertight seal. Although this is on the top side of the kayak, and I don't know if this will ever be submerged unless I flip it, but even in that case, it's watertight. Also, on the inside of the kayak, I added this grip tape, because when I stand in summer and there's a little bit of water on this plastic, it's very slick. It's extremely slippery. This kayak is very stable. That's its one problem. Being able to have a nice and secure spot that you know that you can stand on and you're not going to slip is very helpful to the kayaker. Here's the kayak main hatch. I use this to store this tray in when I'm out on the water. So I put my phone, my keys, my wallet. I put all of my essentials in this box. And the problem that I have is when you put it in the box and then you set it underneath the deck, it's free movement. She's going to move to the front or the back, and you're not going to be able to get access to it when you're out on the water. So what I did to fix that and keep it in the center where I can have access to it is I installed a 3M clip here. Now this is like a chip bag type clip. It's got a sticky back to it. I put that on the inside of the kayak, and the sticky 3M tape is meant for walls. And so I cleaned the surface and I did everything the packaging told me to, but I just found that the grip wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for what I felt I needed on the water. So I actually put some water on it, threw some more Gorilla Glue on it, and I slapped it onto the inside. So I tied a short piece of 550 paracord to my dry box, and when I want to put my dry box inside of my kayak, then I just take the end of this string and I just clip it into that clip. And now basically if this moves forward or backwards, and I can just grab this string and pull my dry box right back to my center hatch. This paddle is not the stock paddle that is included. This paddle actually came with my Challenger kayak. And if you watch the review of this specific kayak, the Tamarack, I went over on why I switched. I also, on this side, have a pliers installed. I actually have it set up pretty awesome here. I clip it in to these random clips that are on with this installed rod holder. You can see it came in the box with this little tether here. And then I actually take it once it's clipped into here, and I just put it around this carrying handle. So now it's not going to move back, it's not going to move forward. If it falls into the water, I can just pull it back into the kayak. And it's super easy for me to gain access to when I'm actually dealing with a fish on board. That way I don't have to worry about having a small box on top of my hatch there and stuff falling out. I also added just this throw seat because when you're out on the water, this thing saves your life, because your butt gets sore because this padding right here totally came detached while I was driving, and I had a buddy behind me who, it was a long story. It's on my review video. My butt's always getting sore because sitting down on this just sucks. So I had a friend actually give me this blue seat cushion. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing on the kayak, but it saves your life. So overall, these have been my upgrades to my personal Tamarack. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap that bell icon. I had a blast putting more upgrades on this boat, and I cannot wait to take it out on the water, which is hopefully going to happen very soon. So let me know what you guys think of this kayak down in the comments section below. Mission of the day: was to upgrade my Tamarack kayak for the 2020 kayak fishing season, which we pretty much did. So, mission complete. Boom.